Deadly wildfires out west. Nearly 200 fires are burning right now in Washington, Oregon, and California, and thousands are still racing to evacuate. The Creek Fire in Northern California, one of the largest right now, is burning an area the size of New York City's Central Park every half hour. ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee is in Southern California near the El Dorado fire with the latest.
Overnight, a widespread wildfire emergency spanning 3 states. High winds acting like natural kerosene, fueling more than 50 large wildfires in Washington, Oregon, and California alone.
We're going to need other units in there as well. It's going to be in the structures pretty soon.
In Oregon, urgent evacuations in Medford. More than 200,000 acres incinerated in that state so far. This parking lot filled with wilted metal and still smoldering roofs. This car abandoned, its tires melted to the road, flames still licking at the trees. And overnight in Washington, helicopters dropping fire retardant, desperately trying to mitigate the spreading blaze. Here in California, flames from the Creek Fire, now spanning more than 150,000 acres, continuing to incinerate dry hillsides and trees. Our Kaylee Hartung right there.
As you feel this wind pick up, you understand why authorities say the Creek Fire is uncontrollable until the weather improves.
Nearly 14,000 firefighters are currently battling wildfires in California alone. Many of them are up against those wind gusts topping 50 miles per hour and forests decimated by the bark beetle. And just south of Big Sur, a life or death scenario. More than a dozen firefighters overrun by the Dolan fire when it more than doubled in size.
We're in the middle of all those houses that are fully engulfed. Okay, copy, Troy. So you have all parties accounted for. Parties are in their shelters, except for myself, as far as I know.
The fire engulfing the fire station, and 3 of the firefighters life-flighted to a nearby hospital, one in critical condition.
These dedicated firefighters received injuries, including burns and smoke inhalation. The Nacimiento fire station was completely destroyed.
One store owner vowing to keep his general store open to support first responders.
We just can't shut down until we absolutely have to, because an engine being able to get fuel at 3 o'clock in the morning might save somebody else's house.
The general store now incinerated, reduced to burned pillars and a smattering of rubble and ash. The gas station across the street, gone too. Choppers from the Navy and National Guard seen here swooping down, safely escorting more than 160 people who were trapped by the fire. Joe Ebright and his sons on a backpacking trip were among them.
I kept thinking about my wife and family at home, and I knew that they would be very nervous and worried for us. So being able to talk to them was a huge relief.
The high winds and towering smoke clouding visibility, turning each rescue flight into a dangerous and sometimes impossible mission.
The smoke has been so thick that the pilots don't have a visual of the terrain to land safely or to identify the locations where the evacuees are.
Eric Levine and his son returning home from a fishing trip, braving the drive lined with towering walls of fire.
You could actually see smoke coming off the trees. You could see flames. There were stumps that were on the ground that were obviously still on fire.
And Ginger Zee joins us now with the latest on this. Ginger, I can only imagine what these people were going through, feeling like they were trapped in these flames. But I know for firefighters, they've been hoping for a while now that they get some help from the weather. Does it look like they will?
Well, the temperatures have cooled significantly from over the weekend, but with that comes wind. And today we've got those Santa Ana wind threats. I can see the smoke thick here this morning, the hillside dotted with these areas that are glowing. And those can burst pretty easily when you get a gust to nearly 40 miles per hour, which we've already seen in some of the passes just south of us. So we do have the potential for those Santa Ana winds and red flag warnings that still extend all the way up through Washington State and Oregon. Look at Los Angeles. They even find themselves today in the high wind warning. So gusts today could reach 55, and that is not helpful. That actually makes fire behavior incredibly erratic, more so than even the heat.
Amazing to hear you describe it as nature's kerosene in a way. I mean, it's just amazing what we're seeing happening. But I know over in Denver's now under a winter weather advisory. Got some snow today, but just 2 days ago, the city's temperature hit 101 degrees. How does that happen?
So that was their latest 100-plus temperature in recorded history. And then within 48 hours, they drop with the wind chill into the 20s, and they've got the snow this morning. And so you ask, how does that happen? It's a really powerful cold front, the same cold front that brought all those high winds to Oregon and Washington state that fueled those fires. And you can see that jet stream and kind of that cutoff, that low pressure system that's hanging out in the southwest. Well, it is also bringing frost advisories all the way up through Minnesota, freeze warnings in Nevada. And I've got to tell you, Diane, a place like Boulder, Colorado has dropped to 30 degrees. That is now their coldest this early in recorded history. So we just keep breaking records on both ends of it. And hey, by later this week, Denver's back to around 90. So a swing will come back at you.
Unbelievable. In terms of these fires, I know it's still pretty early in fire season. Does it seem like they can get these under control and at least get a little bit of a break?
That's the hard part, is when you've got wind like this, offshore wind at all, you don't get them under control necessarily. However, these offshore winds are going to end by tomorrow, and there will be a little break in the wind. The heat's going to start picking back up, though, by the weekend here, at least in Southern California, which is no good. And we're already at 2.3 million acres burned in California alone. That beats the last record set in 2018. That was only 1.9 million or so. So really, we are in unprecedented territory. I think it makes it very difficult with all the brush, the bark beetle. There's so many complex issues here with the land management and climate change. We've got a long season ahead.
All right, Ginger Z, stay safe. Thank you, Ginger.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.